Good evening. Welcome to the SIU News Update. I'm Tina Norris. At the top of the news, Congress will vote on a pay increase tomorrow.
And I'm Art Carvel. The basketball Salukis are in action tonight. We'll have details after the news.
Opponents of the pay raise in the House of Representatives have won the right to vote on a 51% pay increase. Bowing to political pressure, House Speaker Jim Wright scheduled a roll call vote for Tuesday. Without the vote, the pay raise would automatically go into effect. The White House has asked Congress to reschedule confirmation hearings for the man President Bush wants to serve as Health and Human Services Secretary. The request comes after Louis Sullivan decided not to accept nearly $300,000 in sabbatical pay he's entitled to from the Atlanta medical school he heads. 6 more people were selected as potential jurors today for the first Iran-Contra trial of Oliver North. The judge presiding says he expects to have a jury in the box tomorrow. Judge Gerhard Gesell has also turned down a request from Oliver North's lawyers that the jury be secluded during the trial. Angry relatives of victims from Pan Am Flight 103 are demanding a congressional investigation. The relatives say they want to know why the government did not warn the public about attack threats when it told embassy and airline officials. The bombing is linked to pro-Iranian terrorists that killed 200 people in December. Illinois schools will not get as much money as they hoped for. Governor Thompson's proposal of $344 million is much less than the Illinois Board of Education had wanted. Thompson says he agrees with the board's recommendations, but the legislature cannot afford them. The proposed budget would take the elementary and secondary education budget up to more than $3 billion for the first time in the history of the state. Southern Illinois University Chancellor Lawrence Pettit says he doesn't know how much SIU can expect from the funding increase, but he thinks the university should do fairly well. Funeral services are pending for the founder of the Southern Illinoian. Edward Lindsay died yesterday at the age of 89. Lindsay established the newspaper over 40 years ago, replacing the Carbondale Free Press, the Heron Daily Journal, and the Murfreesboro Independent. Lindsay retired in 1975 from his job as Vice President of Planning for Lindsay Schaub Newspaper Incorporated. Funeral arrangements will be handled by the Dawson-Whitka Funeral Home in Decatur. So, Mark, the Salukis are in Evansville tonight.
Yes, and a tough loss for Southern. A near-capacity crowd rocked Roberts Stadium with a good number of Saluki fans on hand as the Dogs were down 89-87. Randy House gave SIU its first points with a 3-pointer. Assist Tony Harvey, and the Salukis led early by 1. Evansville came back and used a fast break as Scott Hafner finds Reed Crafton at the other end of a long pass, and Crafton puts it through for a 4-point lead for the Aces. The Salukis decided to use that play and tie it up as Sterling Mahan finished off a 3-1 break, and the Salukis went up 29-24 as House finds Freddie McSwain in the lane for the jam. Both Freddie McSwain and Kai Nurenberger finished up with 17 points apiece, but that wasn't enough, and the Salukis were down 89-87. And parity is the name of the game in college basketball these days. For the third time in as many weeks, there is a number 1 team in college basketball. This time it's Arizona at the top, followed by number 2 Georgetown, number 3 Missouri. Louisville is 4th, and last week's number 1 Oklahoma is ranked 5th. Rounding out the top 10 are number 6 North Carolina, Illinois, Iowa, Syracuse, and number 10 this week is Michigan. To the ice, an empty schedule tonight as the league prepares for tomorrow's All-Star game in Edmonton. Last night the Blues downed the arch-rival Blackhawks by a score of 5-4. Going to the All-Star game for the Blackhawks will be Dennis Savard and Dave Manson, and Brett Hull will be the sole representative for St. Louis. In the Pro Hoops, as the NHL prepares for its showcase in Edmonton, pro basketball is heading into its own All-Star weekend. As much a part of the festivities as the game is the slam dunk competition, and this year the guy that many people tag as the best ever will have to sit it out. Though Michael Jordan will play in Sunday's All-Star game, his knee injury will keep him from retaining his slam dunk crown. Well, better safe than sorry. He'll play in the All-Star game, though. That's sports for now, Tina.
Now the forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance for snow. The lows will be in the upper teens. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with the high in the mid-20s. Tuesday night, cloudy once again with a 40% chance for snow, the low in the upper teens. And the extended outlook for Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high between 25 and 30 degrees. For Mark Carvel, I'm Tina Norris for the SIU Night Report.